Yo, good afternoon, good morning to everybody. What's happening? For those out there people who are looking for county recorders offices, deeds, and all those things, great. That's where we get our data from. Like everybody gets the same data. You record something, as long as the county or the recording office is reporting these things. Sometimes it's a town, sometimes it's the county, state level, doesn't matter who. As long as they're putting it out there for us to obtain, we can get it. Well, I'm asking now, like, hey, I've never seen anyone get memorandums. I've never seen us be able to get a notice. Or how about this? Let's say someone recorded a lease option. Can I see that? I'm looking for alternative ways to find opportunities on the regular. Again, more fishing. And if I'm speaking Chinese or Spanish right now to some folks, I understand that. Feel free to ask questions. Tell me to slow down. But also, like, some of these things don't have to apply to everybody. But what I have to do is I have to look at everything on a grand scale of what we want as a community and as a package to be the best. These are some of those things to put out there. So looking at the county data is something that they actually brought me in on a confidential like list. And they're like, I said, can you just send me the list? They're like, no, we have to do it live. We can't even give it to you, which was a bummer. So on the fly, I was like, hey, here's my first round of wish list items that I want to see from a recorder's office. Things like I said, lease options, notice of lis pendens, defaults. Of course, we get all that stuff. There's little nuance recordings that I think will give us a competitive advantage on deal finding. So that's coming. I'll try to get quicker on this. Find fix and flip properties with the before photos, before and after only. Don't give me, just want stuff with photos. Commercial side of the data active on market on the commercial side, although that's trickier than it sounds. We can get some of the commercial data that's on market. They're actively working on that. Uploaded lists, we're trying to do some more on that. Rental data, always working on that. And then when I was going down to the wholesale dispo, so some of the folks last week were talking about, or a week ago or 2 weeks, we were talking about the wholesale opportunities and when we sell them, right? So what does that look like, Justin? Give me some of the KPIs behind that. So you ask, I go do. And I got actually right off one of the calls I got off of, the gentleman that I needed actually called me. So I said, hey, I need this right now. So what we ended up getting out of that was there's 75,000 eyeballs about users branch like data wide, not inside of just DealSauce only. We're talking about like the data providers that actually obtain, that are partnering in with the wholesale opportunities. So they're trying to compete with InvestorLift. They're trying to compete with some of these dispo places that you sell opportunities to, sell deals to. So there's about 75,000 eyeballs. And just like we have in DealSauce, there's other team members and other teams, and then whether they're paid, because like PropStream, you pay like $25 a person to be on an account. We obviously don't charge for that, but there's multiple people and teams. And that's a weird number. That's vague, ambiguous, I should say, because, you can have team members on it, but if they don't show up and they're not logging in, then it is what it is. But there's about 300,000 potential, and very coming soon with your deals, wholesale deals, they're going to be matching buyers up with AI. So you have a good opportunity. You buy, if you're in the New England market, for instance, it's going to, I want to be on that list. I want to see your creative deals. And so we're going to put those deals in front of folks who are buyers. And what it's doing is actually tracking who's buying deals, and it's going to marry them with opportunities, at least give you an AI score based on that area. So I thought that was pretty neat, pretty awesome. Again, more AI technology or innovation. I mean, I don't know, we got to keep up. We also have to try to be inventive. All cool stuff. So anyone have questions on that, please feel free to raise your hand, throw it in the side chat. There was no training last Tuesday. No, they ended up, I think it was the No One Left Behind challenge or one of those challenges. They said, hey, we got to cancel that because pace takes precedence. So 100%.
I think it was like corporate structure, infinite banking, something like that
Was it?
Took your spot. Yeah.
Yeah, all good. But we do Thursdays too. So please, on my YouTube channel where you can see more videos of DealSauce, feel free to pop over there. And I'm actually going to, hopefully today, I'm going to try to download some of the stuff. I just was with Myron on Friday. We had a good little session on Friday with LOI Blaster. And again, I'm not an LOI Blaster guy. My team has it or did it. I don't know anything about it other than going after the agents and getting the information that they need. But I was collaborating with them, just kind of going through different lead strategies and different techniques. So I think that was pretty cool little Zoom. I went through some secrets in there, like little tricks and tips. So I'm going to try to put that on my YouTube as well. It's also probably in the vault. So the information in real time. Example, of their properties that said they were tax delinquent. I went to the county and taxes were paid. I was thinking, so I actually was going to go through some tax information today. One of my favorite lists. I have quite a few seller finance opportunities from tax lists, and actually a property that I'm going to be building out hopefully this year. That came from a tax list. It was a piece of, it was like a vacation, I don't know, strip of like lake property. And yeah, I love the tax delinquencies, but here, check it out. It's only as good as the county reports. So I do that same area, and I'll just go here. It's 20 Cove Road, I think, and East Kingston, New Hampshire. Let's see what that is. Right here. I bought this several years ago, and it's not even the right location. It's kind of hidden. There it is. It's hidden in the woods. I got this little piece of property over here, and it's just in this, like a little river, pond, whatever. It's like paddleboarding, kayaking, all that stuff. And I want to put a little tiny home on it. But I bought off a tax delinquent list. And let's see, it didn't even record me. It actually doesn't even have recordings. The town is so messed up. Not messed up, I shouldn't say that. They're so backwards in a way of, they're antiquated. That's the word. And I tell you, they're in like an old little schoolhouse. It's the old lady with the filing cabinet. It's a cute little New England town. So I bought this property, and for about a year, it still didn't reflect that I owned it. It's because the little old lady doesn't report things to the people she's supposed to be reporting to, where we get our data. So like we go pull that stuff from those counties, but if they don't report it to the county and they keep it within their town, we don't hear about it. So they might, like once every year or once every 6 months, they might report. So that was that case. Like I can speak for that. So guys, think about that across the country. That I just want to educate folks on knowing how the data is aggregated, how we do this. It's no real difference in any company. It really comes down to as long as they report it. So tax delinquents, we actually make it a priority. Actually, we ourselves go to the towns and we actually reach out. We have an email list that we built over the years locally, because these towns are so antiquated, they don't report it. So there's a competitive advantage going off site. I can say that as a deal finder. Of course, I want you on here, but you can only, if I can't provide it for you, no one is. So if we can't get it, then we have to go get it ourselves. And some of the data that we actually do, I can attest that they do have a relationship with some of these counties that we have to pay individually to obtain it. So it's not real time. I don't know anyone who really is real time. Your bigger municipalities, excuse me, I can't say that. I bet your Atlanta's, your Boston's, your Phoenix, all those are probably maybe once a week, if not a couple days. So we go for a feed every day on our data. There's always a feed. And MLS was up to, some of the MLSs that we actually have we're actually deep in, it was every like 15 minutes. And others don't report so fast because there's 500 MLSs across the state, like the country, over 500. So guys, I hope I'm not just cramming like word garbage at you all day. We can get down to the brass tacks here, but let's go check out some tax delinquents. Let's see who's, this is actually an area that I haven't played in a while. But we can go to who's got an area? Who wants to go through an area? Hit me up. Yeah, we'll go through tax delinquents, like liens. Yep, tax liens. We'll go play in that ballpark. Columbus, Ohio. Dave, welcome to an intense place. SUBTO. Good to see you. There's a lot to go down here, and this is something we do every Tuesday. We're going to go to Ohio. Let's see what we get. So Ohio, disclosure, Dallas, Fort Worth. We can check it out. San Diego. What up, Angie? Springfield, Mass. Yes, welcome. I'm a Massachusetts boy originally. All right, got to pay attention. Well, first of all, we'll just go to see what actually it brings us. So first off, we have 250,000 records right in Columbus. Pretty awesome. So you can see we have a wholesale opportunities right at the top. It's really cool that we're getting to see more and more and more opportunities. So people are bringing their opportunities on here and posting them. And again, I call these the sponsored ads. These are just people's deals. If you're a buyer, if you know a buyer, marry the two. That's an opportunity to make money, guys. Like there's a connector right there. Hey, I have deal sauce, or hey, I found this deal. I know you're buying Marietta, Ohio. It's a 4-bed, 1-bath. It's $175. I don't know that area, so I can't tell you, but I knew if I knew these were my backyard, I can look at a price and probably go, oh, 100% I'm into that. So if you know this, connect it, and you know a buyer, you can facilitate that. All right. So let me go out of here. So let's go down to the tax. So we got a boarded up house right there. Go to lean information. Now, going through some of this, and I strive to get educated on every topic in here, guys. Like I'm trying to get all the meat and potatoes on all these strategies so I can just be well informed for everybody. And I think it's cool knowing the backside of every little data point, right? How do we get it? What does it look like? And so we can just get really good at lead generation. But list penance, those are typically your lawsuits, your divorce. Divorces are not a very common thing in all the states. I just have to be very clear. So if you're looking for divorces in, I even think New Hampshire, Massachusetts, there's some states, they don't disclose it. I think Maine does, and I'm always talking New England because I can speak for it, but Ohio, I mean, I don't know, we can go try that, but let's go government liens. We should go utilities. I don't even know who does that. Let's go with just the tax. All right, we have 1,200 in Ohio. So then I guess we can just go filtering by. Now, if we're in one area, we can always do AI. So this has a really high AI score. So this is just a general overview. I'm acting as a freshman, just searching properties just like anybody else. I might hit mobile homes here. I'm not going to hit the land for this exercise, but I want to look at this AI score. I want to look at all these scores because depending on where you are, guys, you don't always have a high threshold sometimes. I guess like sometimes, just like retail right here, 750, I don't know if that is. And actually, now it just dawned on me, I think I want to have some numbers here so we can see where the gauge is. So we can actually, like, is this 800 or is this 700? It says 8. See what that is. 47. So maybe it does that. I never knew that. But I want to know where those are. So these, we're getting up there. Sometimes the max might be at a 600, 650. We can still go after those. So let's just do a minimum on the whole side. Let's go 700. The number of deals, Jeff, is that what you're talking about down here? So 804 that just popped up. So we're going to have 8.
I think when you were rolling over those bars, it looked like that was the number of deals that was in that size of bar. So the 8 wasn't 800. There were 8 listings there. There were 774 in the other one.
There's a reason why you're a pharmacist, all right? Because you're smart. All right.
I don't know that, but I like numbers as well. And so I kind of geek out on that stuff sometimes.
Bro, thank you. I don't know it. I don't know it all. I'm like, we need to do something better. Well, then if I did that, not saying everyone would do that, of course not, but I think we should do a better job at putting a gauge in there. So I'm going to work on that. Let me put that note down. Guys, I'm going through it just like you, and like how to make this way better. Because again, if we were in PropStream, you can do that, but we don't have anywhere to go. But now we have too much wiggle room. All right, we have 800. So we can go through it. We can aggregate this. We did the wholesale score. We can go by AI wholesale score. We're going to start from the worst to so we have 1,000. So we have the worst of the worst. Of course, actually, this is free and clear tax government. That is the best stuff. And guys, you know that too, right? You might not see a pre-foreclosure because typically tax delinquents have no mortgage on there. I can't say all of them do, but that's why there's escrowed payments, because the counties and the towns and the cities take precedence over any lenders. They can take and seize property. So we'll just look at this. This is it's expired 2020. Of course, we didn't filter by any of that, but yeah, we have some high scores here. Get your liens. The one thing going after liens, we have other property. Okay, we have other property on the same street, maybe. So if anyone understands how to go after these, sometimes it's going to be someone who passed away. Maybe this person, I don't know if they're in a different country. Well, they're in Dublin, Ohio, so it's an absentee owner. And yeah, what's going on with it? So did they pass away and forget to pay the taxes? I don't know. But you might have to do skip tracing, and then you might have to go deeper. I just want to let you know, just like your probates, just like your vacant properties, it's vacant sometimes for a reason. And that if someone's deceased, the kids aren't living there, they're getting the mail potentially. If the mail doesn't get bounced back, I can go on and on and on, but you have to do some CSI work. I will say that. So, I'm looking at some pretty cool data here. LTV 000, that's the one. Cool. This is on market. It's got a green indicator, high AI score. Let's take a look at it. It says 105 days. Is it true? Did they pull this off? Is it still active? Well, we can check it out and call Scott and say, hey, Scott, what's going on here? So we have Scott's email and telephone number. Again, going back to the point of no excuses. You can pick up the phone, call. Global 7-Star LLC. Now, is that a lender who took it back? So let's take a look. Notice of foreclosure, 036. Dallas Baldwin was the trustee. Tax certificate, sheriff's deed, Global 7 Star LLC is the buyer. They bought it for 135 grand and they're selling it for 2099. You never know. Are they looking to do, maybe they'll do a seller finance. They want to get this problem. They have it for 90 days. So again, opportunities are there. They could have bought it cash. They just want to make an interest rate on their money. You never know that they could still give you a loan. So that's worth a conversation just to see what's going on. So I hope you guys know, like, there's ways to think about every little opportunity. So you look at something, you go, all right, well, even though, oh, someone just bought it, maybe go to the next one. No, don't. Take a look. It's 100 days. They might just want to wrap it to you. And if you can make money with it, go for it. Or maybe maybe you're going to move into it. Put a family member in it. So, yep, cool stuff on the tax. Liz pendants. You know, obviously, the more issues, the more delinquent tax, the more lawsuits and things, you know, there's more red tape and it might be less of an opportunity. I want to make a video very soon. And I just refinanced on a property that they gave me. It was a tax delinquent seller finance, but she was $45,000, $43,000 or $50,000, one of the numbers, in back tax. They didn't take it yet. And I called the treasurer, I called the town attorney. I'll just give you a quick little backstory. I called the town tax assessors and they're like, yeah, we're not in the business of taking people's homes, but it's going to happen quickly. We're going to do something. So she knew the jig was up. She didn't have any money to pay it back. So we said, hey, you own this outright, give it, do a seller finance opportunity. You make more money. She already tried to get a cash contract. The guy couldn't sell it. And then I asked the town, the city, I said, hey, would you guys give me that on payments? And they're like, what? So I ended up getting city tax subject to. I made payments on it, 0% interest, which they weren't supposed to do, come to find out. And we did that for a couple of years and then we just refinanced and paid it off. So we paid, you know, $10,000 down at 0% interest on the taxes. So that was pretty cool. And I just want to let you guys know, like, there's opportunities out there. Just got to ask. And the town said they never have done that before, the city. If it was foreclosed on or on the taxes paid up, to get out of foreclosure on that one. So if it's foreclosed on by if it's foreclosed by a lender, the lender's paying the taxes. But if the town does a tax taking or, you know, a property taking or a sheriff's deed in that case, depends on what you call it, they own it. And there's usually a redemption period. We have it, you know, again, things are in every area are different. But I know that you can get a redemption period where they might give you 6 months, 12 months to actually pay and you have a redemption. If you do not redeem it, they'll put it back up for auction. They'll put a posting out on the county website, on the town website, on the paper. Hey guys, we have a package of properties here. Sometimes they give them to auctioneers and they'll say, hey, we took this property, and they'll get the proceeds from an auction. They'll get their money. But usually the towns, they can't take it or they cannot do like these sideways deals unless it's a small town. Typically, you have to go through a process of steps in order to actually obtain a tax taking if the county or town took it. That's to prevent like the swindlers and the backdoor shady deals that get made, and they still get made. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. So yeah, great stuff on the taxes. Let's go back into it. I saw that we wanted to look at a couple of the places. Direct to seller. Jenny, you bought some land, 1.25 acres. Pretty awesome. Las Vegas, Orlando. Oh, that says Missouri. I'm sorry, that was Springfield, Massachusetts. My eyes are terrible. All right, so our search criteria here with this wholesale score of 700, tax liens doesn't apply. So let's get rid of the 700. And we just went into one city, guys. And we got 12. Pre-foreclosure tax lien, new build. All right. Yeah, opportunities. You know, that's what all you got to look for is just opportunities. And I would do something like this too. Again, anyone who's not familiar, hasn't been around, hasn't been looking at it. If this is your market, for instance, come back, zoom back out. Let's draw, you know, hey, I go to Fordland. I like that. Hey, I'm going to go up to Stratford. I like Fair Grove, but I'm not going to go any further than Willard and Republic and Nixa. But then I draw my own little search. Like, this is my buy box. This is my area. This is what I'll do. And now we have 21, right? So we grew outside of our little boundaries. So don't think that a town or a city or a county is going to, you know, handcuff you. Do not. Draw outside. Heck, go to the next state. All the whole interstate if it means that's what you do deals with. Another little tip there, a little trick. Let's go after some seller finance. Anyone using LOI blaster in here? When you do a buy tax liens, you can't do anything to the property, i.e. rehab, until the redemption period is over. No, not necessarily. If it gets to the point where you get to obtain it and buy it, that means they had the right to sell that property. Now, there's redemption periods and mortgage clauses that usually you waive your right to that, and we don't even know that. So you'll see a lot of people lose their homes in pre-foreclosure where they're like, we've had several instances in our business where we were like, hey, you guys are going to get foreclosed on. I'm telling you, they put their head in the sand and then they get foreclosed on. And literally the day of, or that next day after the auction, we get a phone call. Hey, can you guys help? And there was one woman in particular we tried to help. And no, she waived her right inside of her mortgage. They're not idiots. So yeah, but with the county, they'll do that waiting period. They'll just let it sit and you have the right to redeem it, but they're taking it. So they just it's almost like repoing your car. You can get it back or you just let it go. Same thing. All right. So we can go down to, we're going to search for a specific area. Let's go to, I want to see what Angie had. Something in Colorado. Westminster. I was just with our new brand director. He's a brand representative for Deal Sauce. I met him for the first time yesterday, and his name's Jason. He's out of Denver. So may have to be relocated to Phoenix. He's out of Colorado. All right. So we'll do filters. I'm going to check out to what we have. Sometimes we have to reset them, guys. So we'll do the reset filters. This instance, we don't. And let's make sure that there are things here that we actually want. So you check that out here. Single property, property types, go through all that. I mean, you can go through land, especially with tax taking. That's one of the best things to do because, again, grandpa dies, whoever passes away, you don't even know who they are, or a family member, they had land. It happened to my family in Montana, and it was a funny story, well, depressing story, but, I wasn't old enough to fix the problem at the time, but they had some beautiful land that they let go, sort of where everything's happening right now. And it was like my grandmother ended up getting it from her aunt. She willed it to her. She didn't give it to her kids. Give it to my grandmother. And my grandmother was like, I'm never going to Montana. Don't pay the taxes. And they stopped paying the taxes on it. And so the county took it, waited, sold it. I watched the whole history on it. It was depressing. But that's what happens. So land is good, really good opportunities there. Again, you might have to do some digging. And there's other strategies in there, guys, too. Just so you know, I'm not going to go into them here. Maybe we should bring Chris Craig on. We'll need like 4 hours. Chris, if you're in here, you're the man. But he's a wealth of information. He's super smart, and it just goes dialed in. But there's ways of taking the land, almost like an eminent domain style, when it's like defunct for so long. It's a trip. It wasn't Kalispell, but it was south of, was it Whitefish Lake or Lake Whitefish or whatever it is? And it was at the bottom of the lake. And they developed it. All right, sorry, I can go on these little paths. We're here to look at tax liens. Let's look for assignment of rents. I just want to see what comes up. Again, that's not going to be everywhere, but that's going to be when a landlord has a judgment on someone for the rents, for their levying their wages, and they're getting an assignment, or maybe someone is being owed money. They're going to have that. Judgments, we'll go tax there. All right, let's do that. Oh, it's still bringing up Westminster. Let's bring this. Oh, because I drew that, guys. Be careful. I drew this and never deleted it. So we're back to Westminster. Well, pretty cool that you can actually make that mistake. And maybe that's why other companies don't do that. But I'd rather be able to make the mistake, search more than handcuff us. All right. 22 in that little town, or this area of Denver, I should say. LLCs, quite a few LLCs. Again, you might get some. I should bring some up, some tax delinquent records that we have. Guys, they'll be on here if they owe like even a quarter, $1. They could make this list. So that's the other thing we don't get to see. And I would like to see maybe some of the assignments of rent, or we can see some of these things. Maybe not the rent itself. We'll go out of that one. But let's look at tax taking or a tax lien. I'm in tax lien right here. Like on our list, we've had people who just maybe they forgot the dollars and the cents and they made a tax list. So we would not reach out to them if they owed 25 cents. Richard, good to see you. What's going on? Feel free to unmute yourself. This is a seller take back. Interesting. Oh, the lender was Ronald. You can see that here. This is a pretty cool one. Again, you stumble on these opportunities all the time, guys. Ronald he was the seller. He must have seller financed it to somebody, the Deborah and Gerald. And that was in 2011, or well, actually they recorded the tax taking. Pretty awesome. And they had a $1,600 code enforcement lien. Interesting. There we go. Code enforcement. Wow, you get some of this information. And then guys, you can go into this county or this area, and then you could take the book, or is it the recording number, doc numbers and stuff, and you can go and look for those recordings and get them yourself. You can go literally read the whole thing. And I'm going to try to, I think we're working on trying to get some of those documents to actually come right up. I don't know what that looks like. So did they pay their tax lien? Let's see what's going on. Ronald might, Deborah has it still potentially. So let's go through this. Deborah, whoever this address is, the different address. So absentee, they have some other properties there. So they must have reinstated.
Maybe,
yeah. See, like
maybe it's went foreclosure and they took it back. Like, I think, isn't that what that means?
Yeah, but I'm looking there, the buyer. I would expect to see another recording.
Because he looked, oh no, okay, I see.
I would expect to see something else. But he's back as lender on the recording. Ronald, you would think that Ronald might have it back. Now, again, things like this get by the system. I'm not saying this is that example, but you will get these weird, even creative finance. Think about that. Like, we're doing subject to. Even though we changed the deed, sure, the deed gets changed. You're the new owner. You're going to reflect on here, but there are sometimes you can confuse these systems. So, yeah, you would like to see something else in here. But I like that. I like the quick payment. I like the seller take back. That could be another strategy that we look for loan types, just to see what else is coming back as that. Like when I say you can get really creative and backdoor a lot of things here, you can. You just got to be paying attention. So loan type. Actually, it's going to be mortgage. Seller take back loan, 11. See what Molly's up to. Molly bonds.
Justin.
Yes.
Can you do me a quick favor and explain to me what that seller take back is?
Absolutely. Just what it says. If it could be taking back they're essentially getting back their loan. I don't think it's a seller finance on this instance. So what you're going to do is a seller take back. They're going to be recording a document they're taking back as a lender. They might be getting their property back.
Pay a fee to take that back plus the fee or something?
Yeah, I think, what do you mean by that?
Like, normally if you go after a tax lien and you pay that tax lien, you wind up getting the property. And then the seller could come back and pay that fee, that amount of money that you paid plus a fee to get the house back.
Yeah, like an interest rate and like a fair, like.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, is that here? No, most of the time I think what you would see, don't quote me, it would be more or less seller finance opportunities where the sellers take a seller take back loan. Seller take back. So it would be, let's see, I actually want to, I'm going through this with you guys too, because every one of these is going to be different.
Got it.
So we have a buyer is Molly Bonds. I don't know who is the seller take back on this over here. It's not giving us all the information, but it could be this one here. But yeah, I mean, literally, I'm just trying to show the example of guys you can go out. Oh, seller take back right here, 310. Jeffrey Bonds. That's what I said right here, I think. That's see how you could tell it because it's a family. Now, if it was the credit union of Denver, they're going to probably go through a foreclosure process. They might not have to do that with a seller take back because the sellers, it's almost, think of it as actually we're doing one right now. It's called a deed in lieu of foreclosure. Now, Pace talks about that early on in sub 2. It's not something we always talk about now, where you would like pre-sign a deed in lieu of foreclosure, but we're using that in an instance right now where there's a home, the seller, they're missing a document for the power of attorney. They're the lender who has the power, the long story short, but they're almost like a cash for keys, a legal cash for keys documented saying like, hey, Justin, I'm going to give you $30,000 to walk away from this house right now. Just sign it over to me. And it'd be the lender. The lender can say that. And banks do that right now. Banks, they'll try that process often, sometimes. They don't always do it before the pre-foreclosures or at a pre-foreclosure state. They'll say, hey, walk away clean. Do not put cement in the pipes. Don't trash it. We'll give you $2,000 to walk away. It's cash for keys. And it's just really just a glorified cash for keys. So that's more or less what I'm getting at here. So I hope that explains some of it. But we're doing one right now. I actually just got the approval before we went on here that our lender drafted up the document. We have to go get notarized. All right. So let's keep going here. Let me get here. How could you tell it was seller finance? Yolanda, I'm thinking of, because it says the seller take back. Oh, I missed that opportunity. Maybe it's right here, Molly. It will say seller take back right here. So we were looking for seller takebacks. We didn't put a specific date in there. So it's going to bring up, it's bringing this up from 2020, even though this property she's had lines of credit pulled. So this woman is clearly in distress. And actually, she just took something out last month. Look at, she's taken equity out. Angie, this is someone who's probably stubborn that does not want to sell this property, but at some point, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Something's going, because she took 20, 80, 125, or unless it's accumulated 80, that's 100. So she may have gotten another 25. They could have rolled these two together. So now she's up to $125,000 in a line of credit. Usually it's like an ARM or adjustable rate, variable rate. That's the word. So anyway, sidetracked, seller take back right here. It was from Jeffrey Bonds, which her name is Molly Bonds. Jeffrey and Kimberly, which is, I'm going to guess, just say mother and father sold her the house. She stopped making payments on it, or the estate. And Molly, they did a tax taking, or Jeffrey did a tax taking. Yeah, intra-family transfer. And then Jeffrey did a seller take back with Molly, but obviously she probably reinstated it or did something here. She went out and got fixed debt. She took out maybe this line of credit to pay him back. I'm just willing to bet because she came across some money, right? Just trying to put two and two together. I don't know this for a fact. We're just trying to assumptions, but these are educated guesses. So you just look at the history, and again, don't spend too much time, guys. This is where I want to be very, very clear. And this is a lead generation conversation, so I think it fits. But all too often, I've seen people on the coaching side. I've seen myself do it early on, where I would almost sniff. Maybe someone sniffed at an opportunity, like, hey, this neighbor said they might sell, or I heard, this woman had passed away and the family's thinking about selling. And I look up 11031 Kendall Drive, and you start to get into it. And you spend an hour on it, but you have zero idea what the hell they're going to do with it. They might just put it on an agent, and you just waste an hour of your time. So don't go too far down the rabbit holes unless unless there's an opportunity, unless you're just going to quickly thumb through them. I'm going to reach out to these people and ask if they need any help. That's all I would do. If they raise their hand, that's when you spend the time to go through it and dissect it. And then you have an educated guess too when you're on the phone with them. You could say so Molly, catch me up to speed. I saw who was Jeffrey? That was my father, yeah, whatever. So you can use this to your advantage to have those conversations. You can ask questions that you might already have some of the answers to, and just to see where they're at and see what the numbers look like and just know in general. So that's a little lead generation help. All right. The best to have a conversation with the owner or family member to get facts. Yeah. Marsha, what's going on? Did she take a HELOC? Yeah, it looks like she did. Yeah, that was probably a HELOC when they're doing a line of credit. Again, we don't know all those things, but if you if you will say that was a deal you were going after and you actually had a conversation with her, but maybe she was elusive, or maybe there's a line of credit on it and someone passed away and they have zero idea. So it's sort of up to you and the title company to go after and see what the heck is outstanding. Go into the county recorder's office. This gave you the opportunity to look. You said, all right, something's here. They don't know. Happens often. And you get to go, now you have a lead to go into the county recorder's office, go look for the documents and put the pieces together yourself, or have your title company do it. We're going to try to do a lot of that in here. Try to have some soft title pulls and some access to see more. That's what the goal is here. Specialty warranty, special warranty. That's just another type of a warranty. Any agents in here, Yolanda, can probably pipe in, but you have, there's the slew of them of type of deeds or warranty deed. Specialty warranty. Yes. All right. Anything else on this, guys? Any tax information? Let's go for the seller finance stuff. Eric, what's going on with you?
Trying to answer a few questions over here.
Nice. Anything in particular that we need to raise?
No, I think it seems to be good. I think there was some confusion about the lien information, but that is an upgrade, correct? So not everybody has that right now.
I believe it is, and that's why I haven't played around as much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
have
know.
the reason.
I was confused.
Yeah. If you check that bottom left red button, it does show all the upgrades. And I was a little confused as well because I have it, and then I was getting a few questions from people. So that is something that not everybody has access to right now, but great to see what the capability is with Justin running through all that.
And I think the best data really is from the county itself. Honestly, if you can get a lot of this stuff is readily available too. Not saying to like get away from here for this, because you still need a place to go find the homeowners, look up the other information. But yeah, like it depends on the state. Know your state, know where your area of search is and how good it is. Because I can tell you right now, I'm going to do a search. Just to give you one last example, I'm going to beat a dead horse. Just to tell you that I won't use deal sauce. And I think it's okay to say that, to go after liens or like, for instance, divorce. Let's go to liens. So you'll get all this, but I know some of this data is really, really bomb, because that's why they're locking it, and because they do a really good job at getting it. However, you have to know the state you're doing and how good the data is going to be. So there's 4 divorces in New Hampshire. That's crock of BS, but it doesn't have it because these towns don't report it in the county, in the court system, just like pre-foreclosures there. You got to know how to get them.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point, because I think the hope right now is that this becomes kind of the end all be all and just the one-stop shop. It's not there yet, but learning how to use this in conjunction with whatever else you're doing to save time, to, fact check.
Either way, guys, thank you, Lead Zolo.
So
Thank you. So they're going to be there, and there's a few others, but there's a book publisher. I'm really, really wanting to nerd out on this company that's going to be there. I want to see what they have to offer and see what they're going to do. And I think it's just, hey, if you want to do a book, we'll help it make the easiest time. And everyone should have a book at some point. Prop AI, I think we'll have a table. Yep, Angie, that's correct. I think there's another one. Yeah, awesome stuff, though. We're having a good time. Jeff, you going? Right on. What up, Kyle?
Well, no way to miss that, man. It was like life-changing, honestly, last year. The relationships and everything. But like you say, I lost my voice every day and my ears were ringing when I'd lay down at night, and it was incredible.
Yeah, so right. Yep. So a good speaker is going to be a lot of good times. Get ready. And there's going to be some musical guests, I think, at some point. Anyone have any questions, please raise your hand. And you're seeing Kyle. Good to see you in here. Kay, I see you. Awesome. Kyle's been killing it. Bro, what do you got? What's the latest cooking? I want to hear from you, unless you're busy.
How are you, brother?
Bro, good to see you. How's Arizona treating you?
Dude, weather's still great. It's going to get hot soon, but we're stoked. But, yeah, life is good. I'm pumped. Honestly, every day we get closer to squat up, I'm just getting more and more pumped. I want to ramp up just to even be ready, right? Like, you talk about those relationships, and I'm like, what else could I lock up or set now to be able to leverage the new person that I'm going to meet next month?
Yeah. What are you looking for? Like, what would you be looking for right now? Because you've got a ton of deals all the time. Are you still, is there a next phase that you're going to be going, like the next step? I don't know if that's a new step, and it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Private money.
We're doubling down, and like we're increasing our volume and everything right now. So that's the phase we're doing right now. And then I do see us moving to kind of some multifamily. That'll be kind of the next phase, but not yet. We're doubling down. We're buying. We got to buy like 20 co-livings here in Arizona this year. I need to buy a bunch of house flips. So anyone has deals in Arizona and Atlanta, I want to buy heavy in both.
Atlanta. So in Atlanta, you make up a good point. Actually, I was supposed to put something out here today. I won't, because I don't have the deal ready. We have a house that we just got over like a 2 or 3 year lawsuit on. And we were the plaintiffs. We sued this lady and we finally won. She was a fraudster, so don't worry. We weren't going after some old lady or anything. What are you looking for? Like fix and flips, you said, and just co-living?
Those are our number 2, yeah. And to be honest, I picked this up from Pace and you and some other people, right? It's like in Owner Club, we've talked a lot about focusing, right? Like I'd almost just say yes to too many things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I really got to focus, especially when I'm just sharing what I'm doing. So, because that's what you're going to get. So I want people to send me co-living deals in those 2 areas. I need more fix and flips. I'm going to make the most money I can in the next 12 months or a little bit more from doing that. And then I can pivot,
But bro, you have a lot to offer too, because you're doing a lot of volume. So that recipe is a hard recipe. It sounds easy, but it's hard to maintain. You can have a good month. You can have the conveyor belt can run, but then all of a sudden it catches up. Like you trip up on the conveyor belt on the treadmill and you get bounced off.
It hurts.
Damn right it hurts. Get the raspberries, and then it shuts off, and then you got to start back up again. it's the same system, but your treadmill, you're just running at a healthy speed.
It's heavy. It's heavy. So it's what do they call it? Like train AC systems, right? They call it kind of a train, like it's supposed to have momentum, so it doesn't stop, but they're also heavy. So it's like, man, sometimes it just takes so much energy. You got to get it going. So yeah, you're trying not to trip up. You're trying to put all these pieces into place, right? So I love that. I've learned that a lot about you. I mean, we've known each other for a while now. Learned a lot from you, man. So thanks for sharing. I wanted to pop in here. I love you going off. It's Deal Sauce. We've transitioned. We're having it. We just brought a new admin. I just literally added a team member into Deal Sauce today.
Didn't cost you anything, did it?
No, it didn't cost me anything. Free.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, man, that drove me bonkers. The nickel and diming. Sure, you got to pay for some of the other access, but
yeah,
you're going to get it back investing in the business. No, that's dope. And then you can put that person in there and listen, if they don't work out, like, cool. You gave them value by having the subscription, but you didn't have to really invest too much more.